Hello, my name is Pat Villeneuve. I'm a professor of Edu-Curation in the United States, and my passion is art. I make deconstructed art quilts. That's my own term. Although the designs are very much rooted in traditional quilt making, it's the technique that sets them apart and has distanced me from the field. I have always been fascinated with both the process and the product of sewing, and my technique exposes both. You see the front of the quilt, and at the same time, you see the inside sewing that's usually hidden. This has made me an outsider, if not a heretic, in the field. And I'm trying to decide whether or not I continue trying to show them as art quilts, or if I have to move to a different venue. But I very much stand behind my work. This is my studio. On this wall, we have an example of a more traditional art quilt. You can see the careful piecing and the small stitching that is so prized in traditional quilt making. On this table, however, I'm working on one last art quilt for a competition. And we can take a look at my technique here. As you can see, I build up layers of color, layers of fabric, and then all the edges are stitched together with a zigzag stitch. I have a finished block here. Yes, the raw edges and the loose threads stay. I think they're beautiful. And for me, they add visual interest and texture, and they're all part of a deconstructed art quilt. This is an example of a quilt I made for a competition. And yes, it is skewed on purpose. The intent of the competition was to take a traditional quilt block or square called Wheel of Fortune and make it something new. You see that here in the white. But as I was working on my design, I noticed that it also referenced other traditional quilt designs like Mariner's Compass. And if we move back and move diagonally across the quilt, we also see Drunkard's Path. So I went for creativity points and decided to call this Wheelie, after Wheel of Fortune, Wheelie, and seeing as I was pronouncing things badly already, Dwonk for Drunkard's Path. So Wheel of Fortune plus Drunkard's Path equals Wheelie Dwonk. That's why the border is skewed. We'll get a closer look here, but no luck.